to emerge different situations where you can find really big differentiations between people holding on to their old beliefs, their old belief systems and the way that they are now. From source down, you have all these different ways and separations of consciousness that are coming into different states. You, all of you, are one. Men or women are one. Men and a woman is a unity. Energetically, that's a unity. The thing is that you really don't pay attention that much to them. While they are very important in the physical reality, while they're showing you the connections between matrix pattern, yourself choices. Hello, good day. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the channel again. I am very glad to say that now we're 1,000 subscribers in this channel. So thank you very much, because this is really a dream for me. It's the expression of the vibration of source that I know, and the way that I can do it for you. So it's the most special thing that I can experience, being able to share all this information, sound, all this music, all these things that actually I'm doing in this channel, that are going to be varying in time, but I'm still trying to, get into the thing and really discover what you would like to see more and most, and what I am able to share more and more. So I have to say now that there is a channeling that I had, and I did not publish it, but I'm going to. And it's about, probably you are seeing it already. So I have to say that there is a channeling that I have not published for a period of time, because I was kind of scared of the information that I received, because I really entered a state where a council of 5 light species, light races were encountering with me, and I was really like feeling not only the pressure, but the responsibility of the whole thing that we're starting here. And so that's why today I'm going to discuss a very, very deep and very, for me, essential topic that I know for myself is one of the bases, and I know that I should share it with you, for you to be able to understand when I'm receiving some kind of information. You really won't know what I'm talking about, because sometimes they are operating with my knowledge, with my system of knowledge, and what I have already gained through my journey of spirituality, when I learned in Cogitality Academy, when I learned overall through the years from books and stuff, and most of all from Cogitality Academy and from channelings and the so-called Akashic records, when you get into a state of meditation and receive information. So I have some knowledge, I have some information that I am working already with, and sometimes when they are explaining in channeling something, they are already stepping over that knowledge, and most of the time you probably want to understand what they're saying and why they're talking like that. What are these terms that they use? Why do they use it? Just because I haven't talked to you before about these topics and about what I know. So today I am going to discuss a very sensitive but very, very important topic. So the topic is the matrix, basically. So what is the matrix and what is the structure? So I don't really know a lot about this. I know stuff, but I have a lot of questions. So that's why I have all these questions written down here, that I'm going to ask them right now, after a moment or two. But before that, I have to explain a little bit how am I understanding the whole thing and the whole concept. So we are, as we are, this circle, and this I can call I am, because I am this field. I am this field at this moment of time. Yes, there are a lot of times that I'm changing and I'm switching into parallel realities, but at that moment I am a limited energy. And so I am all the time connected to the whole potential of all that is, as you already know. So I'm starting from this because you have already seen probably the last channelings, you have already searched for this kind of information, so I'm not going to go into so much details, but I can show you now that this is, let's say, this is all that is. These are other people, these are other planets, and these are other elements, and you know, trees and stones and all over, whatever it is, into the multi-universe, whatever is existing. This is all that is. And now when we have all that is, so we have the source, basically the source is God, what we call the infinite potential. God or source is basically the same thing. Most of the people are actually using even the term universe, when the term universe is more related to all that is, because the difference between source and all that is are that source is the thing that all things come from, and all that is everything that has already became a thing. So it is already existing. So these are the main first concepts that I have to clear a little bit. So source and all that is are different a little bit, because source is the source, the point where everything is collapsed in one point, but there it is not existing, it is not experiencing it alive, it is not manifested into any kind of reality. It's only potential, energy, basically God. It knows everything, but it doesn't exist, it doesn't experience. And all that is everything that is experiencing something in some way, shape, or form, but all of it. When we talk about it collectively, when we say us, the other systems, the other galaxies, the other planets, the other universes, and all that kind of stuff, everything that ever exists in any dimension, in any density, it is existing. So that's all that is. And we, as I, are the people who have this unique verse, which is the universe, unique verse. So we experience our own reality and our reality only. So we are at the same time ourselves while we are source and all that is, because we are the people creating reality, the people experiencing reality, and the people being reflections of the people around us in all that is, of all elements. So these are concepts that probably, if you are familiar to some kind of teachings, whether they're Bashar or Cogitality or Abraham or whoever, like Pleiadians, other channelers there are, or the Council of Nine, whatever you have read, whatever you have heard, probably these concepts align in some way, shape, or form. They are really the same everywhere, but people are calling them different ways. So what I'm going to say today, what I'm going to ask about today is the field around the planet or the collective, or the it has a lot of names, but yeah, the collective consciousness. So this is the collective. And when we are choosing to be ourselves in our forms and coming into this reality, we are accepting to be part of the collective of wherever we are going. So when I choose to come to Earth, I'm accepting the principles, laws, and ways of the collective on Earth at this time that I'm choosing to live in. So that's the thing. Basically, this is the collective consciousness. And the collective consciousness is really the compilation of all the memory and all the thoughts and all the ways of thinking, all the beliefs, all the systems that we have created for ourselves individually, but collectively they are forming the collective consciousness. So the collective consciousness is not really something that is helping us so much at that point of time on Earth, because the collective consciousness is also the thing that we call the matrix, and not really the matrix, because the matrix, what it basically is, it's the energy pattern which gives us the opportunity to create images into the energy. So it's like an energy pattern, waves and waves and waves and waves and waves that create a field, in which field we are choosing things and making them possible to materialize. When we're making them possible because of the matrix, because of the energetic field that before this gave us the solid base that we can create over with our thoughts. So it's not something really bad, the matrix, but the collective is really a thing that is changing while we are changing, because we are changing the whole reality. So if you watched the previous episode about parallel realities, so there are, little like planets all over. So we're hopping from this one to this one to this one to this one, and they could be different in frequencies. They could be more or less different in frequency. So as much different as they are, as much far they seem to us as a linear timeline, because when we think of some Earth that is so different from the Earth now, we're thinking, okay, it should be far away in the future. Actually, what it is, it's now. But if we are able to see it, then we can create it faster then. But, no more talking. That's just a few things that I brought up. I know that it's probably not so understandable at that time, but please stay with me, because it's going to be a journey for me too. I haven't explained all these things out loud ever, so it's very, very, very big thing for me too. And also when I'm in channeling, they are talking a lot more understandable. They are a lot more understandable. And also when I'm in channeling, they are a lot more understandable than me. So I'm just going to create this a little bit easier for you. So what I'm going to ask today is about the collective. And this collective is all the time, very much in interaction with us, because we are the collective and the collective is us. And a lot of the time when we are talking to a person who is in the matrix and so like living into the matrix, not thinking about spirituality, not thinking about awareness, anything of that, most of the time if you start noticing, you can notice that you are at sometimes not talking really to the person, but to the collective consciousness. Sometimes it seems like this person is like, it's like possessed of the collective consciousness. Sometimes he's really triggered of something, and he himself is really not triggered of something, but the collective thoughts, the collective ways of thinking, they are triggered. So he is triggered from this because he is in the so-called channeling with the collective. And this is actually the thing that I'm going to ask today, because I know just this, but I have to broaden my perspective on this, and it will be very interesting for me, and I hope that it would be very interesting for you too, to understand, because this is very, very, for me, I think, essential to be able for us to be able to really change the reality, everybody around us, and not really to change them or fix them, or they're not broken, but really to raise the consciousness collectively for all of us, because as I said, we are really connected to the collective. And even if you or I or him is aware of the way things work, of the extraterrestrials and the ways that you can communicate with them, with the realms and everything, okay, but if we are collectively not into this higher vibrational, let's say, consciousness state, then we are really not going to move forward very fast, or we're going to be slower. So it's very interesting for me to know how I am in a channeling with the collective, and how so we can get out of it. And as I already said, there is a concept that I'm not going to go into details, but there is a concept that women, especially we, have, because we have a lot of power in ourselves as potential. We have a lot of potential power, but we are more, let's say more, that's the information I have. I'm not judging anyone. I am a woman too. So we have a lot stronger connection to the collective than men. Because of that, men are really thinking so much more logically. And when we think, I know each of us has experienced that, a woman, when we think about something, we really imagine it in so big scale, like we are really entering this state, we are entering this field, we are entering this reality in our minds. So we are experiencing that. If we, let's say, our child is going to fall, and we see that coming, like we see that while he walks, and now we are really like experiencing, before it happened, we are experiencing in our heads how it is going to happen, how it's going to fall and break his head and fall down, and it will be blood and stuff. And that's why most mothers are like, oh my God, don't do that. And most of the time, the child is not falling, but we are really experiencing that as a fear, as a reality. We are really into that. And when I dig deeper with my teachers and my partner and everybody around me who is, thinking about this stuff, is that women are very much connected to this field of collective consciousness, which gives us this non-stop anxiety, which gives us this virtual thinking. And men has it too, but I think that in women it's more powerful, because a man has his logic and he says, okay, this is right, this is wrong. He never goes right ways. But we are intuitive, and sometimes it's not about the intuition. We are going from the intuition into the virtual reality. So if we are here and this is our field, this is the collective, and let's say this is a two-dimensional diagram now that I'm doing, so we are channeling the collective, but we are also the all that is, and the source and the potential, and we have a lot of energy, so we can get out of it. So I have this concept, not I, but we have this concept that there is a virtual, let's say, a virtual world in our minds, but somehow created not by the consciousness, but by the physical mind, which is happening in between here. Like, I don't know if you see it well, but it's in between the line of I am and the line of the collective. So in between here, when we are channeling, there is a virtual realm happening here. So my questions are going to be about this virtual realm, and about, because it's not outside of me, but it's not inside of me. It's not something that I have experienced, but it's not something that is really from the potential and from the Akashic records or from the anybody really outside of me. It's from the matrix. Basically, this is information coming from the matrix. Like, this is information that has been somehow experienced and somehow gained into the collective consciousness of all happening on earth. So that's why most of the time it's so anxious, and it makes us feel so much fear, because in the matrix there is a lot of fear coded into the matrix, and that's why we people were so trapped in our consciousness for so long. And I think that this is probably one of the keys about understanding how we can work with ourselves when we understand how to collect and differentiate ourselves from the collective consciousness and our own minds, our own ego, our own physical minds. It's better if you know, oh my God, this is my ego, this is my physical mind, it's talking to me, and not like now I'm channeling the collective fears, I'm channeling someone else's fears, I'm channeling someone else's belief systems. I'm talking not for myself, I'm talking for somebody else. And I think if you think for yourself, probably you have experienced something like that. Me, for myself, I have done this a lot of times. Sometimes I talk to somebody, he says to me things, and I'm reacting in a certain way, and then I'm coming back home and I'm reflecting on the situation, and I'm saying, okay, why did I say these things? I don't really mean them. I even don't really think like that. I'm not this person, I don't think like that. I don't have these beliefs. I really don't. Deeply in myself, I don't have these beliefs. But somehow when we interact with people and they're saying stuff that somehow triggers us and the collective, it becomes like a big deal out of nothing. And of course, this is happening when you are already on the spiritual path, when you already have chosen to grow somehow, to change somehow, to experience new things and learn. If you don't, probably you won't recognize these kind of situations at all. But I'm just sharing that. So 22 minutes I'm talking. I'm stopping right now because I really have to go into channeling. So I'm going to ask the questions and then I'm going to get into the state. So I hope you understand the concept that I very, very, very roughly throw at you. I'm sorry about the way I'm explaining. I know I'm not very good at that up until this point, but we're going to get better together. So what is the history of creation of the second grid and the second filtration of women? So the filtration, I'm talking about the grid. So the grid is the limitation, the way of thinking, basically. Can you explain it in terms of structure and why does it exist? Does it exist really? Is my understanding right? And is there a thing like a virtual reality? They have said to me that this is some kind of illusion, but we're going to understand now. So is there a virtual reality? How does it look like? What's the difference? Can it be eliminated? Can we stop this channeling with the collective? Or is it still needed? If not, why? And why really women are more dependent on it than men. How? Can we transform it in much bigger scale? Yeah, so I have to say something here about women, and that I really forgot saying. And the thing is that I'm going to just again show you. But now what is happening is really the information that I got, the time that I asked about this collective, this woman's collective consciousness. So they told me, you know, women were so repressed. Through time, women were so repressed. And as we know from the time of even Adam and Eve, you know, Eve is somehow something added to Adam and not really equal entity, even sometimes when you think about that. So what they have explained to me, women needed the security of having strong base, somewhere to hold themselves in order to feel like they do exist and like they do matter in this world, and that they are matter, you know, because matter, mother, they are all so connected words because they are basically the matrix. And this is how it all turns around, and it's very interesting because when you think about the words matrix, mother, and matter, you know, it's also connected. And why women, and why like this? And now we're going to talk about the father too in the next episode. Probably we're going to go deeper into this, and I'm going to ask about the pattern and the father, because I know that the patterns that we go through in life that are really the code that we are going on is somehow related to our fathers. And we're going to go deeper into this, but they basically showed me a picture of women holding hands like that. And at some point, they were so trying to hold on to each other because they were so scared. They were so, you know, feeling like they're not existing. Like, not only like they're, you know, that they felt like their existence is somehow compromised. You know, their whole existence of the whole, you know, women race, let's say. So we as women started holding so much more and more to each other, that at one point we became like this, at one point we became like this, and one point we became like this, and the one point we became like this. So super intense collapsed energy into each other. So we became like stressed, trapped, closed into each other. And that's the why women most of the time are experiencing more energy blockages in this type of way, because, you know, we are really so suppressing. And with the whole thing about birth, about how hard it is to be a woman overall in this world, to be a woman in any kind of situation, and at one point when you are repressed in any other way, shape or form, then you start collapsing into each other. So that's why I'm saying that there is a special collective women somehow consciousness and field. continuing with the questions. So the question is again, can it be eliminated? Can this dependency of the collective consciousness can be eliminated? And why is it still needed if it is? Can we transform in a much bigger scale the way we think, act, and exist, and really for it to not be so much connected to the collective ways of thinking? And why the collective ways of thinking are bad. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that they're old. We all know we're old. The way Earth has been thinking for a lot of time, and people have been acting and doing stuff for a lot of time, is very, very, this is a broken system. It's not working anymore, and it's not going to work so much longer. So we are now changing it. But while we are changing it, we really have to understand what's the structure and what was basically, and why was it like that. So that's why we're going to deeper into that. What is the connection between the collective and the cycle of women? The cycle that we have is made of 4 phases, and these 4 phases are connected to the moon phases. This is a very interesting topic too, because it again shows the pattern that the women's cycle is like a whole circle making a matrix, like a field. And so you have first, second, third, and fourth, phase of this whole thing. And these are like waves, waves of going up and down, up and down, up and down. And from here, going all around to here, the phase, the wave is the same like when men are doing for one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. And this, the same thing, the same wave here with all these patterns in harmonic, this is in harmonic terms. And it's very interesting. Now, I'm going to add that it's very interesting that when we talk about hormones in these terms, I am not very, again, aware of how really in details things work, but what I know, we women have 4 stages of our cycle period. And then men have hormones going on each day and every day the same way, from the morning to the evening and going back the next day. So they're creating the so-called pattern of this is the day and this is the night, and this is the day and this is the night, and this is the day and this is the night. And everything their hormones are going through is going on in just one day and one night, one noon, one afternoon, everything. In women, it's this whole cycle, this whole thing is happening in a month. And it's creating, again, into this, the way we're thinking, that it's creating, again, a matrix. A matrix, so, a whole field where patterns can then relieve themselves and really exist. So, very interesting. That's what I'm going to ask today. I think I have asked a lot of questions. I really want to understand about the virtual reality. Is there a thing like that? Is it really happening like that? What it is? How is it looking like? How are we experiencing it? And how is it different if there is a difference between the potential, the you know, the all that is, and the virtual life, a reality. And yeah, so we're getting into channeling now. Good day, good day. Good day, good day. Starting here with the concept that you are all one, unnecessarily dividing yourselves into spirits, realms, structures, details. The collective certainty that has been experienced for a lot of time is now collapsing, because the certainty of the collective thinking is collapsing, because there is no more that much certainty in the thinking of people in the collective. They're starting to emerge different situations where you can find really big differentiations between people holding on to their back to their old beliefs, their old belief systems, and the way that they are now coming up to evolve into the new way of existence. They are really separating themselves. Women separated from men is the same thing that you don't really have to do. Men and women are one, and you are one. You, all of you, are one. Men or women are one. Men and a woman is a unity. Energetically, that's a unity. Don't see it that way. We see it that way. Now we're going to explain why. There are energetical structures that are going from 0 to 9, from 3 to 6, and so on. These energetical structures are having different shapes and forms, different ways of connecting to each other, and different ways of experiencing these connections with each other. So the energetical connections are real and they are existing. The thing is that you really don't pay attention that much to them. While they are very important in the physical reality, while they're showing you the connections between matrix, pattern, yourself, choices, and all these terms that you are very much trying to find what they mean, all of these terms. So you find one term or one other term more pleasant for yourself, but they are really very much the same, because everything is one and you are one. Why men and women are one? On your planet, there is the understanding that you are individuals coming together in a union, but you are really coming together in a union because this is the only way that you could be a unit. We are going to explain that again. This is the only way that you can be a unit, real unit. This is the same for all races that have men and women form. This comes because of the separation coming into a certain level of density. When you come on this level of density, the thing that is following is the separation of men and women, of female and male energy, so-called female and so-called male energy. The characteristics of it can be very much not the same when we're talking about different races. Women can have different characteristics than the male, and vice versa. But you are one energetically because you are like a puzzle coming together as a unit. And when you create this union between a female and a male energetic structure, then you really, what you do is create a whole structure. And this is the base of all that you're talking about and of everything that you are asking us today. Of everything that you are asking us today is how the collective is doing things over you, while the collective is not doing things over you. It's not trapping you. It's not holding you off. No, the collective is there because you are a unit with the collective, and you cannot exist because and out of the collective, because you are not going to exist. You are going to be in some collective wherever you are, wherever you go, whether you go to one planet or other, whether you go to one system or other, whether you go in one form or other, whether you are a tree or a dog or whatever you are always going to be ready to accept some kind of collective. And this collective can be smaller in scale of knowledge and can be broader in scale of knowledge, but there will always be a collective consciousness that you are going to unite with in order to exist. The same way female energy is really uniting with the male energy in order for it or any energy, new energy like the child, to exist. So creation is made in these terms because of the whole source that you know as God or potential energy, the full potential energy, God, source. Source, from source down, you have all these different ways and separations of consciousness that are coming into different states, and then the states at one point are coming into the separation between male and female energy. So the separation is not really necessary. It's just a way that you can experience more, because if you did not have an opposite in this term, so then you wouldn't be able to experience all these connections and pleasure and stuff that you're doing together. Really, all these emotions, all these energy movings that you are experiencing together. So open up to the unit, to the connection with your other half, and then you will be able to let go of the collective structure. We have explained this before, but we are going now into details about it and going to explain why is there a virtual reality, how is it happening, and why is it happening. Sometimes in your mind, there is a confusion that the virtual reality is something different than simply going through exploration of virtual exploration, mind exploration of parallel realities. No, it's actually the same thing. Why are you thinking about it in this way? Because in this moment you are awake and you have all your knowledge of what's right, what's wrong, what's known, what's not known in your mind. So you put an intention. We're going to give an example. If you say, I want to experience having fun time with my kids, and you really enter this vibrational state of having fun time with your kids, you are entering very similar vibrational state to what you would have seen in meditational state. But when you enter this state of vibrational feeling of joy and experiencing with your kids, the thing that you are really doing is you are putting this into the shield of the collective knowing. So then you're putting this interaction that you have with your kids that is very joyful and really holds this vibration of joy and happiness. You put it in under the shield of what's known for you. So you're going to put it in a house, or you're going to put it on a stage, or you're going to put it somewhere that you have seen yourself before, and somehow you are putting your kids there too. While the reality of things is that when you have kids and when this is actually happening, the whole reality around you is going to be so much different, and you are not going to be near these places that you now know or that you once knew as you're familiar to you. Not these spaces, but the way that you experience these spaces. We don't know if you can understand us, but when you go into this state of joyful and happiness with your children, you really experience the vibration that you are going to experience while you are having this time in the reality with your children. But then when you go out again, you are putting something around this field that is collapsing this field itself into a certain blockage. And then you are experiencing that as a non-full potential. And this is the why you are experiencing a bad feeling about the virtual, so-called virtual reality. The virtual reality is nothing more than a parallel reality experienced by you and put into the shield of something known. Again, a parallel reality created in your mind by your imagination, by your free will. That's nice, that's good. You have created this reality. This is a parallel reality. It is existing, and then you are putting it into the shield, under the shield, into the field of something that you already know, that is already somehow, in some way, shape, or form, experienced by you, and is really under the collective rules, under the matrix rules. When you put this vibration into the field, you feel the vibration as it is, clear, pure vibration of joy and happiness. And when you put it into this field, it already doesn't hold that much of this joyful and great vibration, because you are adding to it so much circumstances. Let's say someone of you is wanting to create something like a musical, and you can imagine this vibration, and you can imagine this parallel reality. You can feel the way you are going to feel when you already have your musical. But then in your mind, when you continue with the exploration of this parallel reality, most of the time what you do is you put so much more elements that are irrelevant to your dream, just because they are ruled by the what is known to you. So let's say if it's a musical, you're going to put your mother there, your father there, you're going to put your grandma there, you're going to put people that you don't like, that you don't know, that you don't want to be there. You don't want them to be there. So you don't want, let's say you don't want the room to be this room where you are performing it. You don't want the stage to be this stage, but you're putting it because this is the known for you. And when there is this dissonance when there is this dissonance between the known of you that you put by default in your mind and the thing that really is resonating with you as vibration, so the musical or your dream or whatever you are creating and choosing in your parallel realities, then you are actually creating this dissonance, and this dissonance is making you feel bad. It's making you feel untrue, unreal to yourself. This is why you're feeling bad about it. And we know you're feeling bad. You are. Because you're putting these elements. Get them away. Pull them away. Say to them goodbye. Let yourself, when you feel this, let yourself ask yourself, what is the actual thing that I want to experience? And then get into the root of what you want to experience. And then the virtual reality is going to disappear. It's going to be out. And you're at one time going to notice that you are now into your dream and not into some virtual, non-existing illusion or reality. So it's always and. It's not this or this. It's this and this, and this and this, and this and this. So if you say women or male, female or male, if you say dark or bright, say noon or moon or sun, these are the things. These are the opposites, and they are going together. They're going together all the time, together. Thank you. So I'm going to explain this to you very quick, but I really have to. What I saw about men and women, if this is the male structure and this is the female structure, what we had was this. Basically something like that. And it was like so interconnected, like so interconnected. There was like this too, and this too. So interconnected. And this whole thing created the grid of existence. So the same way the world won't exist between the moon and the sun. You know, this is half of the earth now, and half of the earth is moon, half of the earth is sun, but it won't exist if either of us won't see dark or light, light, dark. Okay, let's get rid of the moon, because the moon is really not that essential, but dark and light. And what they said about the virtual reality, I really have to clarify a little bit on that. I know that I have to clarify it because it's not very clear when it's not in a human language. So the virtual reality is between, in here, between the potential and between the known. Okay? So when we are here and we're starting to get out of ourselves, but stopping right here at the limitation of the collective, we are experiencing a virtual reality, because it's just above us and just right before we get out of us. Really just into the potential, enough into the potential, but also enough into the shield of the known, so we cannot get out of it. I'm going to give another explanation. So potential and known. The potential is equal to all that is. Period. The potential, all that is, source, whatever you call it, however you call it. So this is the potential. Potential. And then the known is matrix, rules, experience, fear. Everything that we have known already. And they gave this example, which is very nice, because we are here and starting to get into the potential energy. When we are thinking about, I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about how I'm going to have very much fun with them, you know? So I'm starting to think about my kids and the way I'm going to have fun with them. And at this point, I am entering the potential energy, where I'm starting to gain information. Okay, how am I going to feel when I am with my kids? And this is something unknown for me. This is something outside of my knowledge. This is something that I have not experienced to this point. But from the point now, I'm getting into this field and I'm starting to feel this vibration of what it would be to dance with my daughter, or to have fun with my other child, or whatever it is. You know, I'm getting into this vibration and I'm really feeling it, when at the same moment that this impulse comes, it is reflecting in two polarities, and it is becoming the pure vibration, and on the other side, the known limitation. You know, so it's really dividing itself in two, and it's becoming the pure vibration and the known limitation. So I'm now seeing myself, I'm feeling myself dancing with my daughter, but I'm also feeling the field around me, where I am in a room with people I don't really like, where I am in a room watched by people who are saying, by the collective, you know, who are saying, okay, you are very, very crazy, you know, don't behave like that with your daughter, you know, or something rude or something. They don't accept my behavior with my child, you know. So this is the known. And the known is not only the known by the collective, it's my known. Because my known is saying, oh, okay, you're having fun, but my physical mind, my ego is saying, stop. You don't deserve that. You don't have to do that. You're not enough for that. And all these other kinds of things that you could think. But, you know, so the virtual reality is really the space between the potential and the known. It's something from the potential that you don't know, captured in the field of the known and of the collective, which basically I refer to as most of the time fear or anxiety or somehow limitation, because it is a limitation. And the key to that is accepting all these terms that I'm having here, all these terms, because, you know, I'm seeing all these terms from the collective, and I'm seeing my choice, which is here. I'm seeing my choice already reflected into the collective and getting back to me, where I'm saying, okay, I can deal with you. I can say to you, my daughter is going to behave however she wants, and I am going to have fun with her because we are a free family. And then continue what I'm doing. So this way, what I'm doing, I'm broadening my perspective to whatever I'm choosing, however the collective is going to reflect on whatever I'm choosing, then I'm going to choose it again, and then it's going to manifest the way I want it to be without any collective circumstances getting into my way. Any fear or matrix or collective vibrations getting into my way, because I can do that, you know, because when I say something is going to happen, I'm saying, yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen because I'm choosing it. And then I'm seeing it, and then I'm feeling it, and then I'm vibrating on it. And however the collective is really reacting at this point, and I'm feeling this reaction, because we women are sensitive, and this is the thing why we are more sensitive to the collective's thoughts, because we are more sensitive overall. And whatever I'm sensitive to, okay, accept it. Accept this, and then continue to vibrate. And then you're going to overwrite this matrix code. You are going to overwrite this matrix vibration. Do you understand that? You are really going to overwrite the code that the matrix gave to you about something. You're going to override it by accepting it. Because when you see it, you can say, you are that thing. Okay, come to me. Get it, feel it, get it inside yourself, and override it. You can do it, but only if you see it. And this is the gift that we actually have. When we feel at some point the resistance of the collective, when we feel at some point the resistance of the old, let's say the old thinking, the known thinking, when we feel it in ourselves, we can say, this is the thing. Okay, come to me. Come to me. I'm accepting you. Okay, come to me. Come right here. Come. I'm going to get you. And I'm going to overcome you. I'm going to override you. I'm going to ride you again. And so you're overriding it. And this is how you create a new hologram. This is how you create a new reality. And this is how you create change in the collective. Because you're saying, if you are this, so if you are this, and this is the collective, and you're saying, okay, something, the collective is saying, no, not this. And you're saying, okay, this thing, come to me. You are getting it, and you're overriding this. Then you're overriding this. Then you're overriding this. And this way, you are breaking into the collective. Energetically, you are really reforming even the collective energy itself, the collective consciousness itself. You are reflecting your change, your choices, and your own vibrational state into the collective's vibrational state. And this way, you are changing, really projecting and creating a new hologram. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this big episode. It's 1 hour long, but I know these topics are so long, so big, so immense. I can share all this with you, and that I have the openness just to put it right into internet. I don't fear like anything, and I'm sure that the information is, I know the information is complicated. I'm sorry that I could not explain it better at this time and this point of my life and my journey. But I created this platform, I created this channel in order for you to be able to go through this journey and through this whole experience with me. I know it's not going to be easy, and I know it's not going to be, it's going to be long, it's going to be different, it's going to change so much over time. But I'm so ready for it, and I'm like, at this point and at this moment of time, I'm very grateful that I'm doing what I'm doing, and that you are here to hear me and help me and be with me and be with all of us. So yeah, thank you again so much for the everything that you're doing and the co-creation of this really new world that we are creating. Thank you so much. Thank you.